Hi everyone, welcome to my first video on Books by KB, which is a place where I talk about books, reading, and not much else. My first video is about one of my favorite books of all time, which I actually finished last month, but I've known that it was going to be a favorite the entire time that I was reading it, and that is this giant book, which is called War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy. So I just wanted to talk about this book because I figured I could not make just a single Instagram post about it. That is how much I have to discuss, and just love this book. When quarantine started, a public space decided to run something called #TolstoyTogether, which was a 3-month-long basically book club that had people reading around 15 to 20 pages of War and Peace a day in order to finish it in 3 months. Every day there was a new passage to read, plus discussions on social media, and I thought it was a really cool experience. They started in late March, and I decided to start in late April. So I joined the party late, and I thought I would be able to catch up with them, and I read, by the end of May, I had made it halfway through. Then I decided to put it down because I was reading other books at the time, and it's just so big. It is 1,200 pages total, or at least my edition is. So I didn't finish it until August. Tolstoy Together inspired me to read this book, but also I had just finished reading Anna K by Jenny Lee, which made me want to read Anna Karenina, but I had already purchased War and Peace. So I figured I might as well read this one before Anna Karenina, and I don't know when I'm gonna read Anna Karenina because I need a break from a giant Russian novel. My first interaction with Tolstoy in War and Peace was probably because of Winn-Dixie at first, just because they mention it in passing.
I very slowly and very carefully raised up the book I was reading.
What book was that?
War and Peace.
A couple years ago, I was in New York and I saw the Broadway show Natasha, Pierre, and the Great Comet of 1812, which is a musical based on a 70-page slice of War and Peace. It was incredible. I loved it. It was very operatic. The lighting was incredible. The dancing was incredible. The storyline was amazing. There was so many characters that you had to keep track of. But I fell in love with it, and I knew then that I really wanted to read the book. And while I was reading it, I was kind of, in the beginning, I was just like, okay, when is the Great Comet part of this book gonna start? So once I decided to commit and really go for it, I fell in love. I was whisked away to an old Russia, and God, everything is really complicated and really confusing at times, and there's a lot of characters, but it's worth the work. The basic plot of War and Peace is that it is in 19th century Russia, and Russia is at war with Napoleon, with France, and so that's the war section. And the piece is about the kind of upper class aristocracy of Russia and how they're dealing with war, everything that goes on between them. Some of the main characters are Pierre, who at the very beginning of the book, his dad dies and he becomes a count, and he's learning about new money. There's also Natasha, who is a teenager who falls in love very quickly, and you will, if you've seen or read War and Peace, you'll know kind of the trouble she gets into because of that. Just sections a day, so that way I could catch up and try and get there as fast as possible. There were times when I did have to look up, okay, what was this chapter really talking about? Who is this person again? This book is about war and it's about peace, but it's about so much more than that, and it's basically just about the human condition, how we should all live. It is just beautiful, and there were some beautiful passages and takeaways from this book that I don't think any other reading experience will compare to. And obviously I really enjoyed the Great Comet of 1812 section of it. That was probably what I most enjoyed, because I didn't love the war parts. I really liked the peace parts better. Whenever it comes to classics, for me, I know a lot of people like reading more recent books, or not old Russian novels by a white man. I don't like jump at the chance to read white men, but when it comes to classics like these, there is a reason that they have endured for so long, and I know part of that is because the canon of like classic literature is made up of white men. It was decided on by white men, but this is one of those things that I think like deserves to be there no matter what, just because of how incredible it is, really. I am very happy I read it. I'm very glad that it is over and the weight has lifted off my shoulders, but I feel like I've taken away something that is so valuable to me as a reader that I will always cherish this book, and maybe in 10 years I will reread it, but not anytime soon. And I did watch both of the adaptations. There is a older movie that stars Audrey Hepburn as Natasha, and it is not good. It's 3 hours long, I think. It's pretty long, and you know, with a book this long, it's very tough to condense that into 3 hours. But it did not do what I thought it was supposed to do. However, there is a BBC miniseries from 2016 starring Lily James and Jessie Buckley and Paul Dano, and just an incredible cast of characters, and it is beautifully shot. The cinematography is amazing, the acting is incredible, and it gave me the same feeling that War and Peace the book gave me, and I think that's something that is very hard to do with an adaptation. And when it comes to adaptations, there will never ever be a perfect line by line book to movie adaptation, and the best you can hope for is that the movie will capture the essence and the feel of it, and I believe that that BBC adaptation definitely captured this giant tome of a book perfectly. But yeah, I think this is kind of a once in a lifetime type of book, and I don't think I'll have this type of experience with any other books I read that aren't like absolute favorites of mine. And yeah, this is probably, hopefully, the first of many videos that I'll be posting, and I wanted to start with this one because I finished it last month and I haven't been able to post a review because I just don't think I can get my thoughts out in just one Instagram post or blog post. So I decided to make this kind of video review, and let me know if you liked it and if you want me to do more. Hopefully I can do some more on my other favorite books of all time. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye!